All right, what is going on today, guys? Welcome back to an episode of WNN, your source for the music and music production news. We got some interesting stuff to talk about today. Ableton made a good change for once, and god damn it, my bar for Ableton is on the freaking ground because I'm happy about this things. We got some lawsuits to talk about, some other new plugins. Ableton actually did something good. I'm not sure if the bar is just on the floor with me for Ableton. You other DAW users are going to laugh at this. They released an update and they made the new plugin browser able to group plugins by company. If you use Ableton Live 11, you're probably saying, yeah, I could already do that. Well, for some reason in Ableton Live 12, they got rid of the ability to do that. And they just brought it back. So we took 2 steps back and then we're taking the 2 steps back forward again. So I'm really happy over here. Ableton's doing a good job. So they added a new browser in Ableton Live 12, but for some reason they got rid of the ability to group plugins by folder, which made it an absolute nightmare, especially if you're using something such as a Waves bundle. It's just a pain in the ass. You essentially have to use the search bar if you want to find anything. But now they allow you to actually group it by folder again, and it does so by default. Hallelujah. And this is one of my biggest complaints about the Ableton Live 12 browser upgrade. Like I said, the bar for Ableton is on the ground at this point. All they had to do is step over it, and I'm celebrating, essentially. They also state they've optimized the performance a bit. They've added a bunch of other small features too, a lot of accessibility features. I'd probably care more if I was disabled in some way. I'm going to hell. I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship with Ableton, and I'm just glad I'm not getting punched in the face as often. Now all I'm praying for is plugin sandboxing. Yeah, they're not going to do it. In our next story, Chris Brown is doing something very interesting at his meet and greets. Essentially, you could pay Chris Brown $1,000 to grope you on camera. On the plus side, it appears that Chris Brown is no longer beating women. In our next story, Audio Source Re has just released a second version of their plugin named VOXLESS, which you wouldn't guess what it does. It separates instrumentals and vocals in real time. And they have a beautiful quote here on their website that says, "I don't think there is another piece of software that does fast vocal extraction so smoothly in real time." Quote by, I don't fucking know. Something important worth noting here is it's $99. There's a free trial. Only problem is Serato Sample does the same thing, but with better features, and you can also use it as a sampler for $150. They've probably been better off lowering that price a bit, you know, $75, $50 or something like that. If you're looking for that same sort of feature, you probably just want to use Serato Sample, because you can also use it as a sampler too. It has other great functions. You can also use it to separate different instruments, more than just instrumental and vocals. TLDR, Audio Source RE, you are charging too much, in my opinion. Okay, let's watch the video really quickly. Maybe they got some juice here for us.
VOXLESS version 2. First play any track. You can then solo the vocals.
I think that if you get to know me, you see I'm way more than nice.
Sounds pretty clean. It's hard to judge how clean the algorithm actually is when you just have one song for a reference, but this sounds really clean right here. All I'm saying is if I were the people who made this, I would pick the song that it sounds best on also.
Hold you, let me feel you till the morning light.
Not gonna lie, this does sound really clean.
VOXLESS version 2 out now.
Why did they do text-to-speech for this? There has to be at least someone working at the company, right? Somebody could have done the voiceover. I mean, it was like a few sentences. Make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't. If I get to 75,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year, I will shave my eyebrows. I will not back out of this, embarrassing as it is. So subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends to subscribe if you haven't. If you have alt accounts, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You know what to do, though. In our next story, TECHIVATION has released their own version of Soothe. If you don't know what Soothe is, I don't know how to help you, okay? They've released what is known as AI Clarity. Essentially, it is a lightning-fast dynamic resonance suppressor powered by machine learning, and it analyzes audio to identify and eliminate boxiness, muddiness, harshness, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a free trial, and there's a sale. Oh, shit. Okay. Wow, that's actually pretty... Okay, wow. That's a good price. All right. Okay, so the normal price is $129, and they have an introductory sale right now for $45. Gotta figure out how to spend money on this. It's simply too good. And, Really? They're hitting us with a yaw bass? Come on, that's not the best way to sell this. If I'm gonna keep it real here, that is not the best way to sell this to me. Wait, can you focus on the different frequencies though with it? Because that will be the main difference here between Soothe and that. Okay, so you can kind of pick what frequencies it focuses on, but it doesn't look like you have specific focus. Like it's just got like, you know, high, mid, low, mid. Song was actually kind of fire though, although it did have a yaw bass in it. I am willing to forgive that, I guess. Okay, so this looks like an affordable alternative to Soothe 2. In our next story, Devious Machines has released a new plugin, and no, it's not Infiltrator 3, but one can only hope. They have released a new plugin named Bass Focus, and apparently it's going to help you take bass seriously, whatever the fuck that means. Okay, so it is an advanced low-frequency enhancer for mixing and mastering. It'll make your bass sound fuller, louder, and more powerful without losing its original character or identity.
Bass Focus is an advanced low-frequency enhancer for mixing and mastering. It works by adding harmonics to your bass, making it sound fuller, louder, and more powerful.
Okay, so it's like a harmonic enhancer for your bass.
Without losing its original character. Bass Focus can add body and warmth to a variety of instruments, including synth basses and 808s, kick drums, and bass guitars.
I mean, this is not unheard of. Any extra features it may have, I guess. The main one I can see right here is a sustain feature. And I guess you can change the even or odd harmonics, which is interesting.
It can also be used at the mastering stage on an entire mix. And when your music is replayed on small speakers, Bass Focus reveals sub-bass that would otherwise be lost. This helps your mixes to translate and sound great everywhere.
I thought for sure they're going to show us some sound demos at the end here. Whatevers. Either way, it is only $36 and there is a demo. Okay, in our next story, there's something interesting and controversial here. DJs on Twitch can now split revenue with record companies. So before this, quite often, if you played mainstream music in your DJ set, it would get taken down. On Twitch, I believe they would mute the VOD or something of that sort. Now, essentially, you could split the revenue with record labels and, you know, play that music on there. So on the plus side, there will no longer be DMCAs. On the negative side, it looks like they're going to be taking half of the money. Okay, essentially, you'll have to opt in and you will be able to live stream a majority of popular music without risk of being DMCA'd. There will be an official DJ category, which I guess is kind of cool. There will be new discovery opportunities through that. Your earnings, though, will be split 50-50 between you and the labels. Twitch will cover this for the first year, though, so that's a plus, I guess. But there's no VODs, clips, or highlights allowed. You can always press the record button on OBS, though, while streaming is all I'm saying. But you're not allowed to play pre-released music. They recommend you creating a separate account for DJ streams, which is kind of a huge L. That sounds like something that someone other than Twitch would recommend doing. So it's not a good look that they're telling you to do that. Okay, so that is very interesting / concerning. I don't know, there's a lot of pros and cons on both sides of it here. Not really sure what to make of it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. In our next story, Kanye West is being sued for sexual harassment by a former assistant. And, you know, from what I've learned about him in the past, I will say, in my opinion, I am not shocked. Because he has a porn addiction, and it seems like a lot of his life is driven by sex and porn. Also, Kanye West is pretty unhinged. I'm honestly surprised it took this long for something like this to happen. The women alleged that West sent her obscene messages and performed acts of a sexual nature over the phone. In addition to the harassment allegations, the woman accused West of breach of contract and wrongful termination. She claimed to have worked for him for 2 years and was fired in 2022 without receiving her promised $3 million severance package. Holy shit. Yeah, I wouldn't want to pay anyone a $3 million severance package either. I mean, I can't blame him on that. According to documents obtained by various US publications, the woman supported herself through an OnlyFans profile in 2021 until until she met Kanye West. Kanye West went on to accuse his former assistant of blackmail. She initially worked for Kanye from 2021 to 2022, initially on his fashion line, before becoming his personal assistant on a salary of $1 million a year. She alleged that during her employment, the star bombarded her with explicit texts, some of which included pornographic videos. All right, that definitely checks out with other things I've heard Kanye West doing in the past. I mean, for what I've heard, he will send porn videos to people he's working with and brands, like that are males. She also claims that he masturbated while talking to her on the phone and that on one occasion pleasured himself in front of her after trapping her in a private room on his plane. Ooh, sounding like Elon Musk here. So his lawyer challenged the story and said that she was terminated for being unqualified and demanding unreasonable sums of money, including an annual salary of $4 million. I don't know who to believe here, but all of this is straight up ludicrous. I mean, I know that he's a degenerate and he's done a lot of weird shit, but I wouldn't put some of this past this person that I don't know anything about either. Right. Bro, how do you demand a $4 million salary for a personal assistant? Like, what are you fucking doing? Okay, wait, they're saying that she took part in unhinged conduct. She consistently used sexual coercion to demand money and material items, including designer handbags and a Lamborghini. And after Kanye West rejected her advances, she attempted to blackmail him for $60 million. This is spicy. This is spicy as shit. Some of you guys are like, why do you include this stuff in WNN? Are you serious? This is way more interesting than some of this plugin shit. In our next story, we got another lawsuit. This time, the Dream is being accused of R and sexual battery in a lawsuit filed by a former protege. Yeah, it's always a bad look when it's something like this. Essentially, he promised to help her launch her career as an artist, and he allegedly lured her into an abusive and sexually violent relationship. He's worked with Rihanna, Young Jock, Mariah Carey, Sierra, Diddy, Mary J. Blige, Beyonce, list goes on. So she just filed a lawsuit on Tuesday. So this had taken place after about 2015, and she states that it hindered her attempts at having a career. She stated, ultimately, my silence has become too painful, and I realized that I need to tell my story in order to heal. I hope that doing so will help others and prevent future horrific abuse. So she was hoping to land her big break as a singer and songwriter, but ultimately she was lured into an abusive, violent, and manipulative relationship filled with physical assaults, violent sexual encounters, and horrific psychological manipulation. Apparently, it alleges that he made false promises. I'm not going to go through the horrific details here, but yeah, nothing too funny about this. Okay, thank you guys for watching another episode of WNN, your source for the music and music production news. Subscribe if you haven't. We post videos like this almost every single day. Like if you haven't. If you press the like button on this video, I'll do that. I'll do what I just said I would. Nothing. I'll do nothing, but I would appreciate it very much. If you want to support the channel, consider joining my Patreon or becoming a channel member. For as low as $5 a month, you get access to exclusive content, outtakes, sound kits, and other goodies. I'll see you guys next time.